into the comments. So I'm going to do that real quick so that you know that you have access to a playlist. I gotta wait for it to go live on all the different platforms. Okay, so we've got it on YouTube. Let me see where I can add that chat. Oh, sound off. Here's your playlist on YouTube if that's where you're watching. I hope that works. Somebody comment back if it doesn't work. And I'll wait for it to go up on Facebook real quick. Hi, everybody. There's the playlist for you Facebookers. It's in the comments underneath the video. Hi, Lisa. I'm so excited that y'all are joining me. I think that's it. Hello, Jessica. Thanks for bearing with me. This is uncharted territory for me. I did venture out of my house for one of the first times and came to the studio. We've Cloroxed everything. We were trying to take care of everything, but I can't really stream from home, so I wanted to bring y'all Motown Vinyasa on a Sunday morning. Is a playlist working for y'all? We'll get started in just a second while we let some people tune in. Let me know if there are any sound issues, video issues. Veronica, excited for the playlist. Y'all can start it now. It's a little longer than an hour if you want some mood music. And I'm not going to be playing music. It's going to be very strange. So I won't know what song you're on. We might all be in different places, but I hope that it really works out. Oh yeah, I think I have one more thing to do. Bear with me. Thanks, y'all. Well. Hi, Taylor Carpenter. Hi, Jamie. Thanks for tuning in. I'm adding our donation links. 100% of the donations are going to support PYA teachers right now. And then we'll get started. Hi, Amy. A friend of Kathy Tremblay's is a friend of mine. Okay, we're ready to start. Get all that stuff out of the way. Let me get my computer out of the way, and we'll just hope that nothing crazy happens, okay? I think we're good to go. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for Motown Vinyasa. I have taught Motown Vinyasa every Sunday for I don't know how many years, so it's really strange when I don't get to teach it. This will be my first time teaching Motown Vinyasa without music of my own to listen to, but then I guess I won't be tempted to sing along like I always do, so that's probably for the best. Let's get started in a comfortable seat. I'm so glad to be doing this. All I feel is gratitude right now. So comfortable seated position. I'm going to scooch myself back onto my mat. Of course, I know some of you are probably not with a lot of space around you in your living room. I started saying #move the sofa. I'm sure that's what a lot of you have done this morning to be practice. You could do, especially this first part, we're going to be seated for a while. You could do this in a chair, you could do it on a sofa, you could do it in bed, wherever you are. But if you do have the space to sit somewhere and sit up tall, find your way to that seat and push play on that playlist if you want to. Go ahead and close your eyes or soften your gaze. Just for a moment, begin to deepen your breath. I feel a lot of excitement right now for doing something new and for having lights around, for filming videos. I don't normally do this. So I'm taking a moment to ground myself into my own experience so that I can hold a space for y'all, so that I can have that capacity. And it reminds me, my dear friend Marnie will always remind me, it's not that you feel anxious, it's that I have feelings of anxiety running through me, whatever it might be. Instead of saying I am angry, say I am feeling anger run through me. So I love that awareness of saying I can be the witness to these feelings. I can be the witness to this experience and realize that I am still in control. So as you continue to tune into your own experience, you say, well, what do I notice when I look within? If I turn my awareness within, what is there for me to see? You might turn your awareness to your physical body. Let it talk to you for a moment. Your physical body will let you know what feels good, what's working for you. And then the other parts that say, hey, I need a little extra love today, I need some attention. But really, starting now, I want you to make a decision for yourself that you'll use this hour-long practice to be really kind to yourself this morning. So we're going to take it a little easy in the beginning, we'll take it a little easy in the end, long warm up, long cool down, but we'll get some challenging stuff there in the middle so you really feel some challenge. But how can you use this practice? You're the only one who knows what's right for you. How can you use this practice to be really, really kind to yourself, to be really nourishing for whatever you need today? Go ahead and bring your hands to prayer at your chest and bow your mind to your heart. If you'd like to take a moment, you can set an intention for your practice today. It could be something that you're trying to grow within yourself, something that you're trying to build through this practice, something that helps to bring you balance. Lift your chin from your chest, open your eyes, and release your hands away from your heart. Go ahead and sit up tall again if maybe you have started slouching. Drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. I'm not going to try to mirror you. I don't even know how that's working with the video. I'm saying right ear to right shoulder. Hopefully that's right. Take your right hand up and around to the left side of your head and extend your left arm down and out away from you. The more you extend out through your left fingers, the more you'll feel. All the way from the back of your left ear up high, down through the top or back of your shoulder and out through your fingertips. See if there's something that you can soften in your shoulders. Release, other side. Take your left ear and move it toward your left shoulder. Remember, the goal is length on the right side rather than compression on the left. And take your left hand up and around to the right side of your head and reach your right arm down and out. You know, I'm so used to mirroring this when I teach, it's like automatic for me to say the opposite. So reach your right arm down and out away from your right ear. Release your hands, a couple of half circles with your neck as you drop your chin down through center, slowly moving your head from side to side. And Neutral chin, bring your chin parallel to the floor. Extend your right arm straight forward like you're going to high five that person who is 6 feet away from you. Take your other hand in front of your finger, pull back. So it's this backward action onto your fingertips until you feel a stretch through that part of your wrist. You'll notice how the sensation changes if you move your left hand more to the ball of your right hand or higher up to the fingers. Higher up is going to be a more intense stretch, especially if you straighten through your right fingers. Then same hand, take your right hand, palm face up. You're going to scoop from underneath with your left hand to grab a hold of your right thumb. So that's right hand like you're holding a tray. Grab a hold from underneath your left thumb and pull straight down. So you're stretching forward right behind your left thumb. The more you straighten, if I say left and right incorrect, hey, I guess it's just true to the normal Motown vinyasa when I mess it up. Press more up and out through your right elbow. I'll try not to mess it up again. I jokingly tell people it's my first time ever teaching yoga when I get it wrong. Then we'll release. Other side. Extend your left arm straight forward like you're going to high five somebody far away from you. Take your right hand to your fingers, either low or right hand to the top of the left finger so that you pull back. The straighter you make your left fingers, the more stretch you'll feel as you pull back with your right hand. Again, if there's something that doesn't need to be working in your shoulders or in your neck or in your jaw, let it go. Release. Second stretch, same side. Left hand palm face up like you're holding something wonderful. Take your right hand, scoop it underneath and grab a hold of your left thumb. Then you're going to push through this ball behind your left thumb straight forward as you lift your inner elbow up and out. It'll just feel nice in your hand. It should feel nice as we slowly open up through the wrist before we bear weight on it. And release, make fists with your hands, slow circles, one direction and then the other. Just a couple more poses here while we're seated before we really get up onto the standing poses. Place your right fingertips on the floor or your armchair or sofa to the right side of you. Take your left arm, reach it straight up to the ceiling, lift your ribs, inhale. Exhale, a little side stretch up and over to the right. So you can see that I crawled my right fingertips a little bit more out and away from me. But instead of using your right shoulder like a pillow crunching up here, slide your shoulder blades down your back. Make the back of your neck long. Root down through your left sitting bone and reach longer with your left fingers away from your left hip. Move your whole rib cage more left. And place your left hand on your right knee. Close your left shoulder toward your right knee so that your chest is facing your right thigh. Right hand is still on the floor. Tuck your chin to your chest, and now instead of sitting up tall, make a C shape with your spine, like a cat pose. If you know what that is, we'll do it in a second. Like you make a C shape with your spine, you're rolling onto the backs of your sitting bones. Now pull your left hand against your right knee. Slide your right hand directly behind you. Right hand behind your hips. Now sit up tall. Left hand stays where it is. Lengthen up through your heart and the crown of your head. Exhale, twist, turn to look back over your right shoulder. You're going to be looking back behind you over your right shoulder. Press your right knee forward into your left hand. Get a little bit longer up through the center of your spine and out through the crown of your head. And breathe. Okay, inhale, look forward. Exhale, release, facing forward. Second side, place your left fingertips to the floor on the left side of you. Take your right arm straight up to the ceiling, reach up high, lift your ribs. Exhale, a little side stretch, up and over to the left. So we slide the left shoulder blade, that's like strike 10, left shoulder blade down the back. Slide your right shoulder blade down your back. Root down through your right sitting bone. Reach longer, farther with your right fingers away from your right sitting bone. And move your whole rib cage more to your right. Place your right hand on your left knee. Close your left knee so we're facing the chest to the thigh. Then make a C shape with your spine. So instead of sitting up tall, you do the opposite. Round your back, tuck your chin to your chest, and roll onto the backs of your sitting bones, like you're tipping your pubic bone up to your belly button. And then pull your right hand against your left knee to feel a little more of an asymmetrical cat pose. Slide your left hand directly behind you. Sit up tall. Feel a wave that lifts up through the front of the heart, up through the crown of your head. And exhale, twist. Turn to look back over your left shoulder. Press your left knee forward into your right hand. Use your left hand to push down, sit up taller. And breathe into this twist. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward. Inhale, stretch both of your arms out and up. Circle your arms high. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Bring your hands to prayer at your chest. We're doing that 2 more times. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up, circle high, take up a lot of space. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Last time. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Tabletop. Please make your way onto all fours so that you're on your hands and your knees. My mat is crooked. I'm going to fix it. So you've got your wrists directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips. Spread your fingers. Take an inhale, look up, drop your belly, fill your lungs. Exhale, round your back. Press your spine to the sky, tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Inhale, look up, drop your belly, fill your lungs. Exhale, round your back, press your spine to the sky, hug your front ribs into your body. Keep moving. Inhales, look up, drop your belly, this is cow pose. And exhales, round your back, this is cat pose. You can keep moving at your own slow pace, or start moving your body in other ways. Like you might like to move your rib cage side to side, continuing that side body stretching that we have already worked on. You could do a cat pose and shift your weight a little bit more back to stretch through your low back muscles. Mine are really tight today. When I woke up, I was like, I know I'm going to want to do that. Same thing, but you could shift forward to stretch more in the space between your shoulder blades. And then once you get a little bit of that movement in, child's pose, close your big toes together so that they touch. Take your knees wider than your hips. Move your hips to sit back toward your heels. They don't have to touch or get close. Your hips are just moving in the direction toward your heels. Place your forehead down onto the floor or a pillow, or if you have yoga props, you could put a block there, or even your stacked arms. Forehead rests down onto something. Allow, and you'll stay in child's pose, allow your rib cage to settle down between your two thighs. Soften the back of your heart down through your body toward the front of your heart. Slow down your breathing and check in. Check in with the intention that you set at the beginning of class. Check in with that promise that you made to yourself to use this movement, use this practice, use these shapes to be really kind to yourself. So like I always say in class, we do not come here to make the shapes. We do not come here to serve the shapes. What we come here to do, we use the shapes to serve the body. And if that's true, then it has nothing to do with what you look like. And of course, in a home setting, nobody's watching you anyway, I hope. Or if they do, they must love you very much to be there with you. So always practice like nobody's watching. Ironically funny for me right now, but you get what I mean. Go ahead and lift yourself up to a tabletop, all fours. Take an inhale, look up, drop your belly, tuck your toes, downward dog, exhale, stretch your hips up and back behind you. Your legs do not have to be straight. So instead of straight legs, round spine, or shoulders forward, I'd rather see bent legs. Lift your hips up and back. Like if you were going to look at somebody who was next to you, you would kind of be able to see them from behind your arms instead of in front. From there, you can bend one knee at a time, reach each heel a little bit more down to the floor. Your heels don't ever have to touch the floor in down dog, ever. Just a slow opening. We have plenty of time to feel things, nothing major right now. And we'll find stillness. Spike your heels up into the air. Bend your knees a little bit more than they are and walk your hands back to meet your feet. Once you walk your hands back, and you can bend your knees as much as you need to do this, place your heels down onto the floor, grab a hold of opposite elbows or upper arms, and drop your head. And take your belly closer to your thighs, especially if you feel like you're hanging up really high and working hard here. Bend your knees more and fold more at the hips. Okay, release your arms so that they drape back down to the floor. Bend your knees softly here. Drop your head completely. Let your head hang. And roll slowly to standing. Chin is the last to lift. Take your time to rise. I hope I still fit in the frame. I'm very, very tall. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Reach high, deep breath in, almost. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at your hips. Drop your head, drop your arms. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the front of your heart forward through your shoulders to the front wall. Exhale, just fold. Again, just a halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Your legs don't have to be straight, but I do want your spine to be straight. Exhale, fold. Last time. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the front of your heart forward. Either hands to shins or fingers to the floor. Downward dog. Exhale. You can bend your knees as much as you need to walk your hands out to the top of your mat. Stretch your hips up and back behind you. So again, heels can be lifted, knees can be bent at any point. Join your feet all the way together at the back of your mat. Feet touch, inseams touch. Squeeze your legs together. Make your legs as straight as you can get them in this transition plank pose. Hug your low belly in, hug your ribs in. Shift your shoulders so that they stack over your wrists. Lift the backs of your knees toward the ceiling. You could modify at any point by placing your knees down onto the ground. Hug your front ribs strongly in and push the floor away from you with your hands. Inhale, shift forward toward the tips of your toes. Exhale, lower slowly and rest all the way down on your belly. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down. Keep your feet down. Inhale, cobra, stay low for this. So instead of pushing into the hands to lift yourself a lot higher, stay low here so that you feel your back muscles heating up so that you feel your back muscles warming and strengthening and doing the work for you. Take one more inhale, lift the base of the skull rather than the chin. Exhale, lower down, forehead to the floor. Tabletop, hands and knees, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Sometimes what happens is the foot doesn't make it all the way. If your foot got stuck somewhere along the way, use your right hand. Help your right foot hike it all the way forward between your hands. Set your left knee down onto the ground. Untuck your left toes. If you need extra padding, take your mat and double it up this way so that you have two widths of mat underneath your left knee. Take an inhale, stretch your arms to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to hips. If you feel like your left knee is really close underneath you and you don't get a stretch in your left hip flexors in the front of your left hip, make your left leg longer back behind you as you move your left kneecap back. So from there, the action is hips down and forward. Lift the bottom of your rib cage up off the top of your pelvis. Move your shoulder blades down your back. And take just your left arm, reach it straight up to the ceiling. Left arm up, inhale. Exhale, a little side stretch to the right. Reach your left fingers longer, farther away from your left knee as you move your hips down and forward. Then inhale, reach both arms to the ceiling, deep breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor, they frame the right foot. Leave your left knee on the ground unless you prefer pyramid. Start to straighten your right leg and walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Instead of sitting onto the left heel, we've actually pushed the right heel forward so that your hips are aligned over your left knee. Your right leg can absolutely be bent. If you have access to yoga props, you could put blocks underneath your hands, or books, or water bottles, or whatever you have access to, of course. Flex your right foot, pull your right toes back and point them straight up, and pull your right hip backwards in space. Okay, rebend your right knee. Walk your hands forward until they frame the right foot. Plant your hands firmly and step back to downward dog. Right foot next to the left. Take your left foot, step it forward between your hands. Help hike it forward if it doesn't make it. Set your right knee down onto the ground. Make sure your right leg feels long back behind you. Untuck your right toes. Inhale, stretch your arms to the ceiling. Exhale, place your hands on your hips. So again, we're not trying to put your body into this pose. We're using this pose to open your right hip flexors for now. As long as you feel a stretch in the front of your right hip, you're perfect. Move your hips down and forward by bending your left knee a lot. Then take just your right arm, reach it straight up to the ceiling. Exhale, side stretch to your left. So we're intensifying in the front of the right hip, the hip flexors, the psoas, and then taking it into the right side body as we reach the right fingers more out and away from the right knee, just like we did when we were seated at the beginning of class. Okay, both arms to the ceiling. Reach your 10 fingers up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor for half split. Start to straighten your left leg. Your left leg could be bent. You could have your hands on something or a combination of the two. The more you straighten your left leg, the more stretch you'll feel in your hamstrings and the back of your left thigh. Flex your left foot, point your left toes straight up. The Sanskrit name for this pose is Ardha, which means half. Ardha Hanumanasana, it's a fun one, half monkey pose. rebend your left knee, walk your hands forward, downward dog. Plant your hands, step your left foot back next to your right, and stretch your hips up and back behind you. Let's take a huge breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, take your feet forward. You can step, walk, or jump. Feet all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. When you get there, lengthen. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach your arms up. Stretch high through your fingers. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms up, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. You can bend your knees at any point. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the front of your heart to the front of the room. Exhale, plank. Put your hands down, step back and hold. Inhale, shift slightly forward. Exhale, lower either halfway or lower all the way to your belly. Then you can lift to either cobra with me or up dog. If your arms are straight, lift your legs off the ground. Downward dog, exhale. It's probably the only up dog I'll do all day. I like to stick with cobra. Up to you. Spread your fingers wide and stretch your hips up and back. Stay in down dog. I'm gonna grab a sip of water and then I'm gonna keep talking to you. I also see messages coming through from my bosses. I hope it's nothing extremely important. Stretch your hips higher, up and back behind you. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet forward. Step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach your arms up high. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Lead with your heart. Press your thigh bones back. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the front of your heart forward. Exhale, chaturanga. That means mid-plank. So you step to high plank, lower slowly, halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Lift your heart. Downward dog. Exhale. From here, inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Stretch it high. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Help hike it forward if it doesn't make it. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise to standing. Exhale, hands to hips. Bend your right knee straight forward. Your left leg does not have to be straight, but I want that action to be lifting the back of your left knee up toward the ceiling. Lengthen the sides of your body without shrugging your shoulders. Lengthen up through the base of your skull. Take an inhale, reach both arms to the ceiling. Back heel down, extend your arms, and we'll set it up with the feet. Point your right toes straight exactly forward. With your back foot, turn your left heel a little bit more back and your left toes a little more forward. We like an angle to the back foot. Bend your right knee straight forward. Make your left leg really straight. There's a tendency to reach too far forward, so pull back on your left wrist so your shoulders are directly on top of your hips. Then straighten your right leg all the way. Inhale, reach forward, move your hips back, tuck your right hip underneath you. Exhale, triangle, right hand down, left arm up. You could press the back of your right hand to the inseam of your right pant leg anywhere. You can be higher, you could have your hand on a block or a book, or hand on the floor. Make your legs really strong. If you're like me and you have the tendency to hyperextend your legs, like I'm doing unfortunately now, give it a micro bend so you know your leg muscles are working. Turn your left ribs open, turn your left chest open, and make the back of your neck long. Stay here, take one more deep breath in. Exhale. Up warrior two, bend your right knee, lift yourself up. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back with your right arm. So the legs haven't changed. Bend your right knee straight forward. The left hand is resting lightly on the left leg. Lift your left bottom rib up off of your left hip. Move your whole rib cage more to the front of your mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga or down dog. Put your hands down. Step back. Lower slowly. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Lift your heart. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to hips. Settle in here. We're on the ball of the back foot. We've got all 10 toes pointing straight forward. If your feet are on a tightrope, you'll feel a little bit too wobbly. So you'll want to heel toe your left foot a little bit more over to your left. Sit deeply into the bend in your left knee. Lift the back of your right knee up toward the ceiling any amount. Then lengthen up and out through all four sides of your torso. Inhale, stretch both of your arms up, deep breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Place your back heel down, extend your arms. I'll switch so that we get the front view. Nice long stance. Warrior two asks for a really long stance. So if you're feeling kind of a short stance here, you don't feel any challenge in your hips or your left knee is going over your left heel, move your back foot back. Take up a really long stance so that when you sit deeply, you feel a hip opener in your pelvis. Bend your left knee straight forward. Make your right leg extremely straight. Stack your shoulders directly on top of your hips instead of surfing forward. Then straighten your left leg all the way. Inhale, reach forward like you want to touch that wall that's in front of you. Exhale, triangle, left hand down, maybe to the inseam of the left thigh. Reach your right arm up. Or back of left hand to the inside of your left calf, or hand to block or hand to floor, or whatever you're using in place of a block. We do allow the right frontal hip bone slightly forward as you tuck your left outer hip more around from the side to the back wall. Then rotate your right ribs open away from the floor. Rotate your right chest open away from the floor. How's your breathing? I'm out of breath because I'm talking and doing yoga. I want you to breathe calmly. If you ever feel like you cannot take a really deep breath, slow and even, stay here, take one more deep breath in. Exhale, warrior two, stand up, bend your left knee, extend your arms. Reverse warrior, reach up and back. Place your right hand lightly on your right leg. Reach your left arm higher up and more back away from your left hip. Move your whole rib cage more toward the top of your mat, more toward your front wall. Though we're not turning open to the ceiling, this pose is a side bend. Okay, take one more deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga or down dog. Put your hands down, step back, either lower slowly or lift your hips up and back behind you, downward dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet forward, step, walk, or jump to the top of your mat. Sit down onto your mat. Lie down onto your back. I wish I knew what song was playing right now, but those of you who take my class often, you know what's happening now. Go ahead and lie down on your back. Put your feet on the floor so that your knees are bent. your hands behind the back of your head. This won't go on very long, I promise. Pick your feet up off the floor so that your shins are parallel to the floor and your knees are stacked directly over your hips. Now your low back wants to curve up away from the floor. Don't let it. Press your low back flat down into the floor, and then like you want to curl your low back down into the floor, like you want to curl your tailbone up toward your knees. Wrap your elbows so they point toward the ceiling above you. Look at the ceiling above you. Lift your heart up. Lift your shoulder blades up off the floor. Now there's a reason why I don't usually demo and teach, because this core work is really difficult and it's hard to talk through. I'm just gonna do my best today. Push your feet forward 1 inch toward the front wall. If you ever want to modify, you could do this with your feet on the floor. Take an inhale, lift your heart up higher. Exhale, twist up and over to your right. So just the upper body, just your shoulders, you're twisting up and over to your right. Try to pick your right shoulder blade up off the floor. Push your left leg at a 45-degree angle out and away from you without bringing your right knee closer. Then bend your left knee next to your right. Lift your elbows up through center. Exhale, twist up and over to your left. Try to pick your left shoulder blade up off the floor. Try to take your right elbow deeper into the twist. Then push your right leg straight forward at a 45-degree angle out and away from you without bringing the left knee closer in. Good work. Rebend your right knee next to your left. Lift your elbows through center. Inhale. Exhale, release your head and your feet to the floor. Take a breath in and a breath out. Checking the time. One more round. This is it for what we're doing on the back. We'll be back on the feet in a jiffy. Same setup as before. Stack your knees on top of your hips so that your shins are parallel to the floor. Press your low back down into the ground. Interlace your hands behind the back of your heels so they point toward the ceiling above you. If you'd like more of a challenge, straighten your legs up and keep them straight the whole time. There's your option for a challenge. Inhale. And if you'd like to modify, you can do this whole thing with your feet on the ground. Inhale, lift your chest up, lift your shoulder blades off the floor. Exhale, twist up and over to your right. Push your left leg 45 degrees out and away from you. Your right leg could also be straight up to the ceiling. We'll hold this pose. Drop your left leg to hover an inch off the floor in front of you. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Make your low belly flat. Hold for 1. Lift your left leg 45 degrees. Bend your left knee next to your right. Lift your elbows through center. Inhale. Exhale, twist up and over to your left. Push your right leg forward at a 45-degree angle. Either hold here or drop your right leg to hover an inch off the floor in front of you. Your left leg could be straight. Hold for 3. Pick your left shoulder blade up off the floor. Hold for 2. Almost done. Hold for 1. Lift your right leg 45 degrees. Bend your right knee next to your left. Lift your elbows, chest through center. Release, head and feet to the floor. When it's effective, you don't have to do it for a very long time. Hug your knees to your chest. Nice tight squeeze of the knees hugging in. Then let's meet standing up at the top of your mat. You can use momentum to rock yourself up until you can put your feet on the floor. Stand up, hips to the ceiling, and then roll slowly to standing. Chin is the last to lift. We'll tap into that little bit of fire in the belly. Bring your hands to prayer at your chest. It will serve us well in tree pose. Shift your weight to your right foot. Bring the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. And you'll be at the top of your mat for this, facing forward. You can either have your left toes on the floor like a kickstand. You could pick your left foot up, foot to calf or ankle. Either heel below the knee or toes above the knee. So we want no part of the foot actually touching to the inside of the knee, and the reason for that is these next cues. Push your left foot and your right leg into each other. Press your left knee down and out away from your left hip. Lift your heart up to your thumbs and lengthen through the base of your skull. Stretch your arms up. Like I always say, falling does not mean failing. That's not how this practice works. Interlace your hands at your low back. Lift your heart up. Slide your knuckles down. Then close your left knee toward the front wall. Release the foot from the thigh. Keep your left knee lifted. We're lifting the left knee without hiking the left hip. Take one more inhale here. Keep the hands interlaced. Exhale, warrior three. Extend your left leg straight back behind you. Flex your left foot and point your toes straight down at the floor. Pull the front of your heart forward and your knuckles back. Crescent lunge. Land your left foot at the back of your mat. Reach your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Place your back heel down. Straighten your right leg all the way. Triangle a second time. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, triangle, trikonasana. Right hand down anywhere. Left arm straight up. This time continuing on the side body stretches. We have done quite a few so far. We'll invite an extension of the left side, turning this pose into Utthita Trikonasana. Turn your left palm forward so that it faces the front wall. Extend your left arm any amount along your left ear as you reach away from your left hip. Your left arm can stop along the way. If it doesn't feel good to reach parallel to the floor, do not. Move your whole rib cage more into your left side while still lengthening your right bottom rib forward away from your right hip. And reach your left arm straight up. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Stand up, bend your right knee. Inhale, reverse back with your right arm. Exhale, hands to the floor, step forward. Left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. You'll stay there for tree pose. Stand on your left foot. Pick your right foot up, either toes on the floor like a kickstand, foot to calf, or foot above the knee. So either heel below the knee or toes above. Get in there? Doing good? Press your right foot and your left leg into each other. Tone your belly, hug your low belly back to the front of your spine. Lift your heart up to your thumbs. Stretch your arms up. Breathe. Interlace your hands at your low back. Lift your heart up. Start to straighten your elbows. They don't have to be straight, but you're sliding your knuckles down toward the floor directly behind you. And keep your hands interlaced. Close your right knee toward the front wall. Release your foot from your thigh and lift your right knee up toward your belly. We're lifting the right knee without hiking the right hip. I can even see myself lifting the right hip. So what I want is a leveling off of the hips. Keep your hands interlaced. Warrior three. Extend your right leg straight back behind you. I like to think about opposite numbers on a clock with your head and your foot in warrior three. So you could be high with the head, low with the foot. Or most challenging, 3 and 9. So what we're trying to do is create a straight line from crown of head to heel, wherever that may be in space. On your next inhale, crescent lunge. Land your right foot back. Reach your arms up. Inhale. Warrior two. Exhale. Straighten your left leg all the way. Inhale, reach forward like you want to touch the front wall again. Exhale, triangle. Reach your right arm up. Then turn your right palm so that it faces the front, your front wall. Extend your right arm alongside your right ear, any amount, until you feel a side stretch in your right side body. You'll be reaching your right fingers long and far away from your right hip. Breathe into your right lung. Inhale, exhale, stand up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up, reach back. Exhale, hands down, step forward, right foot meets the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, chaturanga or down dog, hands down, step back, lower slowly. Inhale, lift your heart up, dog or cobra, push the ground away from you. Exhale, downward facing dog to a comfortable seat. Go ahead and make your way to a comfortable seated position, anywhere that you have space, the middle of your mat. Take a moment, close your eyes. Slow down your breathing and turn your awareness within. What has changed? How did you serve your intention? Can you take control of this slowing down process now that we have finished the standing postures? Extend your right leg straight out on the floor in front of you. Bring the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right leg. We want the right leg extended straight forward from hip to front wall. Take an inhale, reach both of your arms straight up. Exhale, forward fold over both of your legs. Over your right leg, sorry, got distracted. You're forward folding over your right leg. Now, it doesn't matter how far you fold, but instead of straining, reaching, like, oh, please, dear God, let me touch my toes today, just let your arms rest more down alongside your right leg. Flex your right foot and think nose to toes. So instead of that cat pose spine that we had felt a couple times earlier in class, think nose to toes. Pull the front of your heart forward and fold. Hold the pose, keep breathing. I was worried it wasn't working, but it is. Lift yourself back upright, other side. Extend your left leg straight forward on the floor in front of you. Sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Left leg straight forward from hip to front wall. Take an inhale, reach both of your arms up. Exhale, forward fold over your left leg. Doesn't matter how far you go. You know what they say, you know what happens when you touch your toes? Absolutely nothing. So it doesn't matter where your hands are. What I care about is a long spine. Think nose to toes. And fold at the hips. So instead of looking forward or even looking at the screen, there's nothing going on that's very cool, I promise. Go ahead and drop your head. Or make the back of your neck long as you fold here. And even close your eyes or soften your gaze so that you are turning your awareness within. And leave your arms low, lift yourself back upright. Let's go ahead and lie down on your back. Lie down flat onto your back again. Plant your feet on the floor so that your knees are bent. Reach your arms down alongside your body, palms flat by the hips. And pull your heels. This is my very technical measurement that y'all hear from me every time I teach bridge pose. Pull your feet kind of close into you. It seems to work over my 9 or 10 years of teaching yoga. It just gets the job done. Pull your heels kind of close into you, like your fingertips might want to be able to graze your heels. It's okay if they don't. And we'll place the feet about 4 inches apart from each other. It's not wide feet. It's not touching feet. Feet about 4 inches apart from each other. Firm your glutes. Firm your glutes for this pose. Push your heels down into the floor and lift your hips. It's bridge. So you press your arms down, lift your heart up. Press your heels down, lift your hips up. When you engage your glutes, you'll feel that your knees want to open out to the sides. Don't let them. Hug your inner knees toward each other so that your kneecaps point straight forward instead of out to the side. You can also help do that by pressing down through the ball mound of the big toes of your feet. You'll feel your inner thighs light up. You leave your hands where they are, grab onto the outer edges of your mat, or interlace your fingers underneath you and rock to move the flesh of your shoulders more underneath at the back of your heart. Point your tailbone up at your knees instead of down at the floor. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release your hips to the floor. Cross your right ankle to your left thigh. Flex your right foot. If you don't feel a hip stretch, and by hip stretch I mean the glute muscles on the outside of the right thigh, you might also feel a little bit more underneath in the hamstrings. That's okay too. If you don't feel enough of that yet, use your right hand, press your right knee away from you, or interlace your hands behind the back of your left thigh or in front of your left shin to help hug your legs in. You might feel the back of your hips curls way up off the floor when you take your knees in. Press the back of your pelvis down so that your low back is long. Release. Other side. Place your feet on the floor. Cross your left ankle to your right thigh. Flex your left foot. You can either leave your right foot on the floor, leave your legs where they are, and press your left hand into your left knee. Or interlace your hands behind the back of your right thigh or in front of your right shin for a glute stretch, hip stretch. They've worked hard today. Release, unravel, plant your feet on the floor so that your knees are bent. One more pose here. Cross your right leg all the way on top of your left. So a second ago we had a figure 4. Now you're going to close your thighs all the way together. Knees touch just as best you can. Reach your right arm out on the floor to the right side of you. Twist, drop your knees over to your left and your chin over to your right, so it's a twist. If you feel too much of a twist, or you're modifying for twist, this would be a modification for pregnancy, you can take your right hand onto your left shoulder as you close a little more onto your left side. You can also keep your knees higher. If everything feels good and you want to feel more, scoot your hips backwards. So that's taking your left hip more backwards toward the middle of your mat. And you'll feel a deeper twist in your spine. Lift your knees back up through center. Unravel your legs and reset your hips. Other side, cross your left leg all the way on top of your right leg. Reach your left arm out on the floor to the left side of you. And twist, drop your knees to your right, drop your chin to your left. Again, that modification, if you would like to feel less of a twist, touch your left hand onto your right shoulder. You'll be taking it out of the belly and out of the spine. If you want to feel more, scoot your right hip backwards. So you take your whole pelvis and scoot backwards, more in line with your spine. When you let your knees go however far they want, ever how far they want, as my mom would say, you'll start to feel more of a spinal twist. How deeply can you breathe into your twisted belly? Lift your knees back up through center. Unravel your legs and reset your hips. Hug your knees toward your chest. Flex your feet and show the bottoms of your feet toward the ceiling. And this is just as best you can, doesn't matter what you look like. You can grab onto either your shins or your ankles, or if you can reach it without picking your head up off the floor, grab a hold of the outer edges of your feet so you can grab lower down on your legs if that feels better. Bend your knees down like they're moving towards the outsides of your armpits or ribs, and take your knees, your inseams of your pant legs, apart from the midline, away from each other. So this is happy baby pose. Same idea, point the tip of your tailbone forward instead of up, so that your low back feels really long. You can hold here, working on taking your knees wider away from your ribs, pulling your knees more down toward the floor on either side of your body, or some people like to rock side to side, add some movement. You could also straighten out your legs one at a time to this side, or both together. Release, hug your knees to your chest, nice tight squeeze. So next up is shavasana, and I am going to talk you through a couple of minutes. It'll be shorter than usual, but a couple minutes of a shavasana. So this is the time. I actually did put my shavasana song at the end of this playlist. If you want to shavasana to Motown music, of course, keep it going. If you would like something a little bit less, no lyrics, something a little bit calmer, so that you can turn your mind off, you can switch right now to that last song on the playlist. And then once you make it back to your mat, extend your legs straight out on the floor in front of you. Extend your arms down alongside your body. You can stay here. I'm going to sit up and just talk to you. What I want you to do is make yourself really, really comfortable. If you can make yourself at all more comfortable, do. If you want to use pillows or blankets or prop yourself up in any way, make yourself really comfortable for these couple of minutes that we'll be here. Close your eyes, but relax the corners of your eyes. and soften the space behind your eyes. Relax the muscles of your face and the back of your jaw and around your ears. Relax your tongue and the front of your throat. And let that softness travel down through your chest as you slow down the movement of energy that you feel there. You feel that softness move down and out through your arms and your fingers. Slow down the movement you feel in your belly. Slow down. And you'll allow that softness to travel down through your legs and out through your toes. Turn your awareness to the back of your body where you feel supported by the earth beneath you. So you could be in a bed, on a sofa, on the floor. Doesn't matter. You feel cradled by the support of the earth. You feel held. This is a safe and secure place to let go of the weight of your body down. And I'll be quiet for just another minute or two as you relax, as you rest here in shavasana before I take you out of it. Begin to deepen your breath and find movement in your hands and in your feet. Find movement in your arms and in your legs. And rock to side on the floor. Take your arms and stretch them behind you on the floor. Take a long stretch through the entire length of your body. In fetal pose, either side, so you'll bend your knees, roll over, and rest your head on your bottom arm. Take a moment. And press your weight into your top hand. Press up to a comfortable seated position. However you like to sit is fine. Either keep your eyes closed or soften your gaze with your attention focused within. And bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Bow your mind to the wisdom of your heart. Offer gratitude to yourself for taking this practice. Gratitude for everything that you have. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me, for joining me in this new realm. I hope I see you again soon. Namaste.